Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie Esther here. Have you been hearing a devilish little laugh at the end of your games of Dead by Daylight and you don't know what's going on? Well, that's the Gnome Chompski Charm challenge, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So Gnome Chompski is the unofficial mascot for Valve, the creators of Left 4 Dead, and they love him so much. Gabe Newell, the owner of Steam, even made a tiny little Gnome Chompski, and he launched him into space on a rocket in New Zealand. So he's their mascot, much like we had the Vic Viper charm that was a symbol that meant a lot to Konami. This Gnome Chompski Garden Gnome means a lot to the people at Steam and Valve. So we have a tribute to Gnome Chompski in Dead by Daylight now. So you can see the little gnome here on Fung Min's hip, and I'm going to show you up close what this charm looks like. Gnome Chompski from the Green Flu collection. It's a rare charm, a green rarity. What's this guy doing in the entity's realm? Now this charm is good for killers and survivors. You only need to do this challenge once. It isn't like the anniversary crown challenge that we had in for the 4th anniversary, where you had to go collect a crown for each character. You just have to do this one time and then you're done. You earn it either once as survivor or once as killer and you're done. If you earn it as survivor, your killers have it. If you earn it as killer, your survivors have it. One and done. Okay, clicking on the little magnifying glass here, we can get a better look at Gnome Chompski in all his glory. There he is. What a little cutie pie. Too bad we have to kick him in the face. So you can only obtain this charm during the end game collapse, which is that bar you see. Time's running out. The game's going to end at the end of the game. You have to have that bar going, otherwise Gnome Chompski isn't going to show up. People have asked me, is this a limited time challenge? Well, I don't know for sure, but I think so. Do you believe that there's going to be gnomes at the end of the game from now until the end of time? Most likely this is a limited time event. For how long, who can say? So I suggest that you get into the game and try and find this little garden gnome as soon as possible if this charm is something that you care about. So now I'm going to show you examples of how I obtained the charm both as survivor and as killer. I didn't need to do both, because once you do it once, it's done. But I thought I would show you the perspective of both sides of the game and how I found little Gnome Chompski and smashed him to bits. So here we go. Okay, so as survivor, first thing you want to do is complete all the generators. Got to get that gen rush life going, because you have to open the gate to start the end game collapse yourself. So get all the generators done. Opening the gate will begin the end game collapse. That's the timer that you see at the top of the screen. It starts out as orange unless somebody is down, and then it'll be gray. At orange, it means that the end game collapse will last for 2 minutes. If it's gray, that's a 4-minute timer. It goes down at half speed. Once the gate is open, then you're going to hear that little gnome giggling or a spawning noise. And then you can begin the hunt for little garden Gnome Chompski somewhere on the map. It is pretty difficult to find. The giggle, I don't think, is an indicator of proximity. I was talking to some people that I was playing with, and we all heard the giggle, and we were in different parts of the map. So I think it is a map-wide giggle. Here you see I find little Gnome Chompski hiding behind these boxes. Now, there will be more than one spawn during the duration of an endgame collapse, depending on how long the collapse is. So, Gnome Chompski will stay in this spot for a short period of time. If you don't stop him in time, he will disappear and spawn somewhere else. If you do stomp him, then he'll also spawn somewhere else, and more than one person can get the charm at once. I had heard a rumor that only one person could get it. So there you see, I stomped him into a bunch of little ceramic pieces, and now I have this blue firefly effect around me. Now the only thing I have to do at this point is escape the trial, which can sometimes be easier said than done. The killer is going to be able to see those blue fireflies around my body. They're going to know that I am going for the gnome, and that if they down me, I'm not going to get it. So all I have to do at this point is escape. And that's it, finished. You don't have to do it for every survivor. You just have to do it once. And then when I make this escape, I'll also have the charm for all my killers. It's a universal charm. You can use it on anybody, so it's not a problem at all. It's not like the crown event where you had to do it over and over for each character to get that crown. Now, Killer's a little bit different. There is no requirement. You don't have to get a 4K and kill all the survivors to earn it. All you have to do is smash the charm. So what I did here is I hooked the third person and I stood on the hatch, and once they expired, I just waited for the fourth survivor to come over, and I had no ed, closed the hatch in front of them, knocked them down. This gives me the gray timer you see here, which is going to be a nearly full 4 minutes, and give me the time to run around. And look at this. I brought both of the Wraith's speed add-ons while he was cloaked so that I'd be able to zoom around the map as fast as possible. And I have Shadowborn on to increase that field of view to help me find it. I had heard that Haddonfield was one of the easier maps to find the gnome on, because they told me that he typically just spawns in the middle of the street and you just go up and down the street looking for him. I did not get that spawn, so I got a little panicky here because I'm like, he's not in the street. What do I do now? So I thought, well, I did have the full gray bar timer on that endgame collapse, which would give me 4 minutes, and I could just wait for a respawn. So I just decided, well, I'll start to look around in some other areas until I hear the noise when he respawns. He wasn't in this playground, and I thought, well, I'm really not going to find it. I'm just going to have to hope that the respawn is in the middle of the street. But then I went across the street. Oh, after I checked this porch, I went across the street here, and he wound up being down in the bottom of this house. Lucky for me that I didn't dilly-dally and I found him, because the Nia had Unbreakable and she's over on the door trying to escape right now. And here he is down in the basement of the one-story bungalow house, and I uncloaked so that I could stomp him into pieces and give him a little bit of a smash here with the spacebar. Stomp! Busted him. And now you can see on the sides of the screen that the killer also gets this blue firefly effect. So that's it. That's how you get little Gnome Chompski. Again, I don't know how long you have to do it, so I suggest you go in game and get it as soon as possible. It can be difficult to find. It may take you a few tries. I've only seen the gnome about 4 times as survivor, because when you have that endgame collapse timer bearing down on you, you don't have a lot of time to find it. But I wish you luck. I know you can do it. This isn't really an event because you don't get cosmetics if you collect a certain number of gnomes. It's a one and done thing. That's why I call it more of a challenge than an event. I think I did say event at one point here, but it doesn't give you points. So really it's just a charm challenge, but it is fun. It's something different in Dead by Daylight. I hope you have success finding your gnome charm. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell like a wraith so you don't miss the next video. Don't forget to take care of each other in and out of the fog, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. It's a Gen Rush life for us. It's a Gen Rush life for us. Set a hiding, we do gens. Set a randoms, we got friends. It's a Gen Rush life